Look, I'll be the first to admit, things are much different now for Xbox than it was years ago. Like, I've been doing like the YouTube thing a long time, and there was a different feel, a different atmosphere around Xbox One. It felt like, that they weren't giving Xbox One a fair shot, and that Microsoft was really out there trying to do some things. I mean, as evidenced by them buying, content for a year. I mean, just look at, what was it, Rise of the Tomb Raider. They bought that game for a year of exclusivity. They were buying third-party games, Rise, Son of Rome, Dead Rising 3, Titanfall. They really just had a lot of things going. They brought back backwards compatibility that was like hugely successful, and it got a big pop from the crowd. They fixed the hardware issue. People weren't a big fan of the VCR box or the lack of power. They fixed that, the Kinect stuff. It seemed like they were doing a lot of things to really institute positive things going forward from, that perspective. And then things started to kind of change a little bit. Obviously, I believe things started to change kind of around 2015, 2016. It almost as if their first party stopped creating games altogether. There is a little bit of evidence to back this up, being that like Halo 5 launched in 2015. They didn't release Halo Infinite until 2021. But people that used to work at 343 says they didn't even start on Halo Infinite until like 2018, 2019, something like that. They really rushed it, and it seems like a rushed game. I mean, it was a decent game, but it did seem rushed. They obviously didn't have the content ready to go after launch, and there was a lot of issues. Same thing with like Forza Motorsport, right? Forza Motorsport 7 launched in 2017 with the Xbox One X. They didn't get the next one out till 2023, and again, it was bare bones. It didn't really have anything specific there that would indicate that they were working on that game for multiple years. So I believe a lot of their first party studios weren't doing anything for a while. But anyway, I want to get into this because this could be, a bit of a turnaround from that. What's up? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. I do daily gaming content, so if you guys are looking for that and you found it, hopefully you guys are into that kind of thing. It does take, a bit of a grind from me, but, I enjoy it. I enjoy talking about the video games. I try to be fun yet informative, and hopefully that comes across to each of you as we go forward. It's important to me that you guys enjoy the content. So if you guys like what you see, let me know. A simple like is kind of all I ask. Now, we know Microsoft has, a lot of games and things like that coming. They have, clearly, I mean, I've covered this in multiple videos. They have, the Avowed. They have all this kind of stuff coming. They have Fable. That's the one that I hope actually that comes out. I hope that they really nail that. But anyway, with that being said, we know that they also have a developer direct coming up this month. And according to at least one person, insider, journalist, whatever, this could be a bigger deal than what Microsoft is actually letting on. And Microsoft has like more up their sleeve than possibly we know, which, I think that could be a really cool thing. Will it ever get people excited the way they used to be? I think that's probably debatable, and we'll have to wait and see on that. But anyway, fresh into the 2025 year after the holiday breaks and recharging the batteries, the gaming industry, of course, is starting to make headway in its marketing materials. There's a ton of incredible looking games that, a lot of people can't wait to play. I actually admit this is a fantastic looking year as long as we don't see a ton of delays and things like that. Again, there's various media industry events that are going to be held this year to highlight updates to the old games, to these games coming out within, the 2025 parameters. There's going to be announcements for games coming beyond this year. One of the first events most might be tuning into is the Xbox Developer Direct. Not long ago, we saw industry insiders tease that Microsoft would be getting ready to announce their Direct presentation, and Microsoft finally confirmed that it was coming on January 23rd. Likewise, we already have some insight into the games being featured. However, one industry insider is suggesting that it could be a bigger event than what Microsoft is currently letting on. With Jez Gording, who is a notable insider and writes for Windows Central, he was on X and said this Xbox Developer Direct might be a lot bigger than Microsoft is letting on. So he's suggesting that. Now, we don't have anything else from Jez, but it does help hype up the event. After all, we know that one mystery game will be showcased at the event. Currently, this event will feature updates from teams working on Doom the Dark Ages, South of Midnight, and Claire Obscure Expedition 33. We don't know what the updates will pertain to for these three games exactly, but they will have a prominent spot at the event. However, as mentioned, at least one mystery game will appear at the event, and we're not sure which team is involved, so we'll have to wait for the event to roll around to see what Microsoft has actually planned for it. Could we get a big new game reveal at the event, or perhaps being update to another highly anticipated release? The game will continue to be speculated by fans online leading up to the presentation later this month. Some people are suggesting that maybe we're going to get some Final Fantasy announcements and things like that, coming out, which I think would be a very, very cool thing, a very good and interesting, plan for everybody going forward. Like I said, these types of events, these types of announcements, I like it. It gets people excited. I'm not sure that, fans will ever be back to where they were or excited the way that they were for these types of things. And I think probably some of the main reasons is because, at the end of the day, and I've mentioned this in multiple videos, and I was part of this, it's like you would do a podcast. I've done podcasts with people who used to work at Xbox, like Mikey Barra, and, my buddy Mooch did a game night with Major Nelson, who worked there. It was like these things to get people excited about the brand, And the thing is that stuff is all over. Microsoft doesn't really interact with the fans anymore. Microsoft doesn't do, any of that stuff. It's just one of those things where we kind of get, we get what we get. It's like they have I guess the best way to kind of describe it from my point of view is the stuff they announced is just without a soul. It's like they technically had a very proficient and good, not E3/E3 last year, but because there is no exclusives and the decidedly lack of exclusive announcements, that kind of killed some of the buzz and things like that would have normally surrounded that. So, us as fans kind of look at this and go, okay, well, it's really a kind of a crummy situation going forward. You know what I mean? There's not that amount of hype and excitement that you would see normally, and again, I feel like that's something that a lot of people probably would agree with me about. You know what I mean? It's like there's not that level of just amazing things happening, and that is a real shame going forward, because I do think that it's just one of those things where gaming has kind of changed, but I don't think that it's changed as much as some people claim that it's changed. I think that it realistically, it's still the same in many respects, and so the fact that it is kind of the same really just kind of goes to show that, hey, Microsoft might not be totally on top of the ball with all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that anything can happen, and I'm hoping that Microsoft really goes out there and decides to be competitive, because I don't get it. You got this company, you got people that know video games there, but then you have a situation where clearly not everybody is on the same kind of on board with this. I just don't really get it. I'm not sure that it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, but it's on Microsoft to try to figure this stuff out. They got to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and how these things are going to change and how things are going to kind of, I guess, be more the same. I guess it's like if they want to sit there and put all their stuff on PlayStation, then that's on really what they need to do. They'll have to figure it out. And hopefully that's something that you know, at the end of the day, they can actually kind of make some heads or sense out of. You know what I mean? It's like you got to get everybody on the same page. They had the same problems with the Xbox One, right? It's like, if you guys remember back, nobody was sure how long the check-in was, like the 24 hour. People thought it was 21. One executive said 24 hours. One said a week. One said a month. Every month there was a check-in. You had to be online, right? So it's like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, and you can't have that with something as big as a console. So hopefully we get some kind of idea there for the future. So, you know, we'll see. At any rate, you know, it is nice to see that, you know, some stuff is happening, and, you know, there is some reasons to be excited for the future. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for rocking out with me. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. I'll catch you guys next time. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Peace.